Joining us on the blend this morning, attorney Sally Babbitt with Babbitt Law Group. Good morning, Sally.
Good morning, Bob. How are you?
I'm great. You always talk about interesting things that we should think about. And today you want to talk about designating a funeral representative. Okay,
Yep.
so I'm not really sure what a funeral representative is or why it's important.
Right. So it sounds kind of innocuous and unnecessary, but if you think about, until a few years ago, the person who had the legal authority to make all the funeral arrangements was, called next of kin,
Right.
which is real easy if you have a surviving spouse, but it gets more complicated when you have no surviving spouse, but you have multiple children. But what really gets complicated is that we don't have as many nuclear families as we used to. And so what ends up happening is, what if you have, say, a widower and he lost his wife 10, 15 years ago, and he has remarried maybe in the last 5 years.
Okay.
Now she is the next of kin. So there were a lot of situations that created a lot of conflict between the adult children and the new wife. And so finally, we have something legally in place to help with that problem.
But couldn't you just put it in your will?
You could put it in your will previously, but the statute still overrode with next of kin. So it wasn't a good enough fix.
So the court decided that this must have been a pressing issue for so many families. They decided to intervene and do something about it.
Yeah, fortunately, there were several people in the legal community approached the legislature on this and brought this to their attention. The funeral directors greatly appreciated it because they're the ones stuck in the middle trying to figure out what to do. So they actually codified it a few years ago so that you may select a funeral representative in a variety of ways as an affirmative way to avoid these issues.
I mean, it's something to think about, especially when you're doing, you've talked about the will, you've talked about the trust, and this is just another step in the process, it sounds like.
It really is. I've built it into some of my documents. You can include it in a will or a power of attorney for finances or healthcare. You can include it in a trust. Just make sure you name the same person in every document.
Well, we're going to put your information on the screen once again. Good information. Thank you, Sally.
Thank you. Good to see you.